Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Little Wins with Chiki. My name is Chiki, and I'm a mom in her mid 30s. I'm a mom to a 6-year-old boy. I'm a content creator, and I create content across three platforms: YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm a teacher by profession. I teach in high school. I'm a woman of Nigerian heritage, currently living in the UK, Scotland to be precise. So I'm an immigrant, first generation. And as you can see, I wear many hats. And for me, this podcast is a place to slow down and unpack some of that. Now, why little wins? Earlier this year, I came into a season of my life when I was rebuilding after a very traumatic experience. And it felt like, as much as I was doing a lot, so much, wearing so many hats, juggling a lot of things, I felt like I wasn't making progress. This is a feeling I know some of you will be familiar with, that feeling of working hard, doing everything you're supposed to do, but it still feels you're not where you should be or where you want to be. But I started taking a closer look at my life, at my everyday routine, and I discovered that there are wins there. There are things that are working out right. It might feel I'm not making progress, but deep down, I know things were working out, but I was just overlooking them. So for me, this year, little wins became a way to practice gratitude. It helped me notice progress that didn't look dramatic or glamorous. I started documenting little wins because I needed proof that my life was still moving even when it didn't feel like it. A little win is sometimes just doing the things you almost talked yourself out of. It can be getting through the day, showing up, filming a video, cooking, resting, or surviving a hard week. It's about noticing progress before it becomes obvious. And it's also about giving yourself credit, especially as a woman, especially as a mom. You're juggling a lot of things, you're wearing a lot of hats, and it's time to give yourself credit, not just for the big achievements, but for the little things. I started this documentation of my little wins this year, and I started doing it as a short form content across the platforms I create content on. But one thing with short form content is very limited. You get the highlights without getting the context. That's why I love this space, and that's why I'm starting out this Little Wins podcast. I wanted more space to explain the emotions behind the 30-second clips. Sometimes a 30 seconds clip can show the moment, but it cannot always hold the meaning behind it, the story, the journey. And that's what this podcast will do. Here we come together and I share my journey, the meaning that these little wins hold, the story behind them, the steps that led to the moment, a place to unpack it all. And I just decided to start. I got the idea and I just decided to start. And here I am recording my very first episode. I didn't wait until I sounded polished, healed, successful, or completely put together. I feel the story, even if it's incomplete, can inspire someone else. Even if I'm not fully healed or recovered from past experiences, being on that journey and sharing that journey can help someone else in their own journey. So now I'm in my season of rebuilding, learning, and becoming. I'm not going to wait for everything to be perfect before I share my story, before I use my voice to inspire others, before I ask you to join me in this journey of gratitude and noticing and documenting your own little win. I am choosing to begin while still figuring it all out. And I think that's the attitude we should all have to life. It doesn't have to be perfect. What matters is progress, not perfection. In this podcast is where I want to talk about things that don't always fit neatly into the caption, into the reel, into the short form content, like motherhood and the mental load of it, being an immigrant and living the immigrant life with little or no family support, starting over after a huge and traumatic disappointment. We're going to explore career, identity, womanhood, motherhood, and faith, and also this journey of content creation, because I think that has become an integral part of my life. And with more people venturing into it, we are going to explore what it means to have a full time job, probably a family, and still have this side hustle. It's all about that quiet emotional work of rebuilding, starting all over, even when you can't seem to find the strength to. This podcast is for a woman who keeps showing up even when nobody claps for the effort it took to show up, for the women who feel they're behind, for the mothers carrying a lot quietly, for the immigrant woman rebuilding away from home with little or no family support, for curators like myself trying to stay consistent in the midst of life and in the midst of so much responsibility, for anyone at all learning to celebrate their small progress, for anyone who needs to hear you're not failing, but rather you are becoming. So, in this podcast, you can expect honest reflections. We are not here to sound all polished or all put together. I am far from that. I do not know it all. I haven't figured it out. There's some days I feel like I'm failing. There's some things I'm still not getting right. But we can learn from each other. My little progress can inspire you, and with time, you share your progress with me, and I'll be inspired by it. You will draw strength from me, and I can draw strength from the community I hope to build here. So, this is going to sound more like a voice note from a friend rather than a polished journalistic interview. We are going to talk about motherhood, about growth, about rebuilding, consistency, and most importantly, gratitude. The gratitude we should all feel, even when things don't work out the way we initially planned it. This is not going to be performative. I don't have my life figured out. This is about being on that journey of rebuilding, being on the journey of pursuing our goals, being on the journey of learning and relearning. This is a space that feels soft, a space that will feel real and encouraging. This space is to encourage you and help you understand that every little step you've taken matters. Every little step you take matters. It might not seem like it, but consistent steps do build up. You know what they say, that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. So the one step you've taken today, the one you will take tomorrow and the day after, they matter and they deserve to be celebrated. That is the journey I've been on, and that is what I hope to explore further in this podcast. Given the format of a podcast, it gives us that space to unpack it, to share my story, and hope that someone can hear it and be inspired. I've met a lot of women who are going through the same journey, and exchanging stories, I have found so great a comfort in it. So I want this to feel like a friend leaving you a voice note after a long week, a voice note that encourages you to keep going, a voice note that causes you to pause and take stock of the things that have gone well, and also reflect on the things that have not gone well. So, yes, we practice gratitude. We practice gratitude for the things that worked out, and also gratitude for the things that didn't work out. Because one thing about failure, and one thing I love about failing and making mistakes, is that you get feedback from it. It tells you what works or what doesn't work, and what you can do better. So, yes, gratitude for the failures, gratitude for the mistakes, and everything in between. Welcome to Little Wins with Chicky. This is a platform and a space where we celebrate every little progress. Waking up in the morning, having coffee and finishing it before it gets cold, making it out in bed, doing our job, surviving a long week, juggling motherhood and a full time job, and perhaps a side hustle. All of that deserves to be celebrated. This is me saying, I see you, I celebrate you, and you should celebrate yourself. So come along and be part of this community, and I'll see you in the next episode.